Hello guys and welcome to round 5 of the Simpit ACC League here presented by simracing.gp. The track we are at tonight is the wonderful Nurburgring Grand Prix layout with the fast chicane. The guys are currently out on track in free practice. As you can see, the track here is in light conditions, but unfortunately this was taken a couple of hours ago, and at the moment in the track it's unfortunately in completely different conditions. So let's head on over and see how we're getting on in free practice. Because as you can see, unfortunately it is raining for the guys today, so it's going to get a bit fun out there. Hopefully the guys are going to be able to control their cars and not have too many incidents. So at the moment we're currently looking at Mr. John Crane in his Aston Martin. So currently fastest is Mr. Callum McLeod. Just going to bring up my systems a minute just so we can have a look at some more data. So there we go guys, just put up onto the screen now for you the current best times in free practice. Myself, I'm not looking at it. So at the moment the best time is a 2 minutes 10.9 by Mr. Callum McLeod. This said Mr. John Crane was a slow car there, but I don't believe I see he was. So as he comes to set his time now coming up on the screen with a 2 minutes 22 on that lap, so I believe that was an outlap. I'll just switch here to our current fastest car on track, Mr. Callum McLeod, in his lovely looking McLaren that I was one of the lucky ones to painted that livery for him. If you ever are looking for a custom livery guys on ACC, I am available. Just let me know what you're looking for and I'll try to put something together. I'm currently working on all the new cars, so keep an eye out for those. Callum just dropped some more time off his time now. You just seen him there nicely pop up the new fastest lap for Callum. So I believe he's going to be changing off. So we'll pitch over to Mr. Friday, who's here. Does look like Heiko's having a bit of issues. I'm just going to see in the chat how everyone's going on, because I believe they can hear me as well. So only a couple of minutes left, guys, of free practice, and then we'll be going into qualifying. Hopefully Heiko can get himself sorted and get back in, because he was in the server. I don't know if he was having issues though. There we are, Heiko is now back in the game. So we do see Ahmed Friday here in the Lexus going around through the NGK chicane. As Mr. John Crane is currently off track, it looks like. So guys, I'm going to go through the current point standings. In first place with this round and the next round to go is Heiko with 76 points, Mr. John Crane in second place with 59 points, Callum McLeod with 33 points, Kevin Estep with 32 points, only just behind Callum, Mr. Simon Lind with 30 points, Mr. Ahmed Friday here, who's here tonight, with 27, our winner from last round, Mr. Kajana, who doesn't look like he's out on track right now, with 25 points, sorry. Mr. Brandon Skinner with 18 and Mr. Brandon Carl with 10 points. So that's our current point standings. As you can see, the session has ended, so we'll go back over to the track information screen just whilst they're in between sessions. So the leader after the first bit of free practice there was Mr. Callum. So just waiting for free practice to end so they go into qualifying. So guys, qualifying has just started, so we're just going to switch over now and see how they're doing. Oh, wrong screen, I do apologise there. So guys, I do have the chat open, so make sure you come say hello. If you ever want any information about our leagues or what the Simpit guys are currently doing, you can always check in our Discord channels, as well as our Twitch and other YouTube channel. This is my own personal one, so keep an eye out for the Simpit. So currently the guys are out on track. We're going to go over to a different screen. I'll say that, and it's going into a completely different one that I was entirely trying to do there. We're not going to bring up their personal bets. What we're going to do is their qualifier personal best deltas. So we'll be able to see who's up and down on their current times, and we'll be able to keep you up to date with what times they're currently doing. So the times will flicker in a minute. They're going to be a bit out of sync at the moment. So actually, whilst we're doing that, we'll click onto the nations. As you can see, unfortunately, everyone has their information not set properly, so it comes up with a world flag. We can click over to the manufacturers, and tonight, as you can see, Mr. John Crane is in the Aston Martin. You have Mr. Callum McLeod here in the McLaren, Ken Estep in the Ferrari, Ahmed Friday in the Lexus, and Heiko Sherman in the BMW. Unfortunately, it does look like there's only going to be 5 cars tonight. Well, it's a bit of a shame, but in Season 2 we are looking at a new start time and a new day, so we're going to hopefully have more people. I know the big boss from the Simpit, Mr. Sean Cole himself, he wants to come and race with us, so keep an eye out for next season. We will be posting up on all the social medias, so keep an eye on there for further information. So tonight, guys, again, these guys have to do a mandatory pit stop for tyres. They don't have to take fuel. It's up to them if they will decide to take fuel or not during the pit stop. It happens at the same time, so it's not like you have to do tyres and then fill up the car. And the fueling happens at the same time. There is a mandatory 10-minute window that they have to do the pit stop in. We'll come in at a halfway mark, because tonight's race is 45 minutes long. So look, about 22 and a half minutes in, the pit window will open up. Just actually before then, sorry. And they'll come in for get the pit stop done, get back out there and finish off this race. Does look like it is getting a little bit darker out there on track. Conditions are very wet, as we can see. Does look like she's on the lighter side of the rain now, so it's not too bad. Let's hope it stays this way for the rest of the race. Just the Callum McLeod comes across the line with a 2 minutes 11 seconds for his first lap. So we'll switch back over to the Deltas now and see how their personal laps are doing. So Callum is currently up on his best lap. The other guys, I believe, are still just starting their lap, or unfortunately dirty their lap. So we will keep an eye on that. But Callum is currently up on his lap time, so we're going to stay with Callum here. That's Mr. Alan Friday's this has gone fastest with a 209.1. So Callum's going to have to lose quite a bit of time now to catch up. As Mr. John Crane slips into second place now with a 2:11.0. So half a second up from Callum. As we switch over to Mr. Alan Friday. So guys, if you're ever looking for the best ACC display. As you can see, there's insights here are brought to you by ACC TV. They're also the guys who bring you LFM. So they're very much good riders. And Mr. Heike Shortman just gone fastest with a 2:08.5. So the overlays here tonight that we have, as you can see, the fastest lap at the top of the screen. We have the qualifying. We have board what has our drivers list on there, and also the information of each car in the bottom right hand side is given to us by guys at ACC TV. I'm going to take a short little break. We'll just have a quick drink as we are getting close now to our next part of qualifying. Guys, going to most likely come in, get a fresh set of tyres, then go back out. Mr. John Crane is actually on a faster lap now. He's currently 7.5 a second up. So we're back, guys. Currently looking at Mr. John Crane, who is still going faster. Saying that Mr. Heike Shortman is still up on his lap time as well. So guys, make yourself welcome known in chat. I do have the chat open so we can discuss stuff. If you've got any questions, like I said, drop them in. And I'll respond as much as I can to you. So that was the fastest lap from Mr. John Crane. He does stay in that P3 position. So Mr. Heike Shortman has just currently gone off track. He's making his way into pit lane at the moment, so we'll switch back over. We'll have a look at Mr. Callum McLaren going around. And the McLaren taking a lot of curb there, finished Schumacher S. So he goes through Ravenel quite nicely. Bit tentative there through Bilstein. As he now heads his way up towards the V-Dole chicane, or also known as the MGK. In the game is known as the V-Dole chicane, so that's what we'll be going by the name. Very nicely through there. Doesn't want to hit the cutting curbs too much. They can seriously unbalance the car and send the car absolutely flying off the circuit. So that's something you definitely don't want. So Callum is quite a lot up on his lap. Is he going to make his way up into third place? Oh, he doesn't, unfortunately. He is 9/10 off. He did lose time then in that last sector. As we're coming up to just 10 minutes remaining. So Adam Friday's just on his out lap now. If you wonder why sometimes you can see my mouse, I do apologise. If you can, it's because my overlays is actually just hidden behind my screen. And even though they're behind, as soon as I move my mouse over, they do become visible. So I do apologise. As we move back over to Mr. John Crane. The Aston Martin is one of the more balanced cars in the rain, so let's just see how he does today. Oh, as I take control of the cameras, hit the tyres. No, I'm having my auto control back. That is one of the things I can turn around and stop the auto control, so that's what we're going to do right now. So Mr. Heike Shortman is still in the pits. I wonder if he's going to come out for another lap. He does. He is up 6 tenths from Mr. Amir Friday. He's currently saying he was going slow, but it doesn't look like he was. So we'll go back to Mr. John Crane, who is still up on his time, but only just. It looks like he's just fallen out of the time. Currently equal on his pace just now, still a little bit slower. So if he can claw it out coming up through the chicane, all these bits sliding there. So I'm on board with Mr. John Crane here. And Mr. John Crane is 3 tenths up. Puts into a 209.7 now, so he's now just within striking distance. Another 6 tenths and he can take second place. Does look like Mr. Heiko Shortsman is going to stay in the pit lane. So we're going to go to our helicopter cameras and looks over at camera. You can see how wet it is out there. There's puddles forming in the gravel traps here at Dunlop. It's getting a little bit loose there for him. Ken is holding currently his same lap times. As Mr. Heiko Shortsman is going to come out on the track. So you're going through Yokohama, coming up to Vidal. Oh, unfortunately gone very deep there. Callum is in pit lane. He's going to bring it back to the pits. So we're going to switch over to Mr. Heiko Shortsman, who is currently our fastest car on track. Does have a lead of 6 tenths. What is a nice gap for him to have there. So BMW gets very squiggly on the painted curb there, coming out of Dunlop, because he goes down through the Schumacher S. Not taking too much curb. Curbs in the wet are very, very slippery. He could have took the inside there. Goes wide, but not too wide. Again, getting on the power coming there. He does get the back end loose. Psycho setting himself up for a lap. His current lap time is way off because it is the one he's been sat in the pits. The game does unfortunately count that whilst you're sat in the pit lane. So let's see if he can improve on his lap time. As you can see, very squiggly coming into turn 2. So coming through the Mercedes arena. Let's see how he's doing here. He is down. We'll see if we get a better drive coming out. So still slightly down. Mr. John Crane's improving. Just come up to the very last bit. So see how everyone's doing. 'Cause 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 So Mr. Heiko Sherman is currently sitting in first place. Amir Friday in second. Mr. John Crane in third. Callum McLeod in fourth. And in fifth is Mr. Ken Esther. Also, guys, just a big heads up, myself and Callum McLeod, next weekend, after the Spa race on the Saturday, we are going to be taking part in the Race for Ukraine that is being hosted by the one and only Mr. Aris, who is the head of handling for ACC. He is putting on a 3-hour endurance race at none other than Paul Ricard. We are taking the brand new BMW M2 TCX car, which is the slowest car on the grid. We thought it'd be, as it's a fun endurance race, we'll take the slowest car, why not? But also, we have names like, as Heiko's just got even faster, taking a little bit more time off. We have likes of Jaroslav Honsig, aka the Jardier himself. We have George Boothby taking part. We have Samir Foch taking part. We have Maciej Malinowski, aka Tortellini. He's taking part as well. And the good thing about this is it's open to absolutely everyone to driving, and every single car in ACC is going to be in this grid. We have the slowest car in the BMW TCX, the M2. We have the GT4s, we have the Porsche Cup cars, the Lamborghini Super Trofeos, as I said GT4, we'll have GT3 out on track as well, and the new Ferrari 488 Challenge, down the back straight during not the preview event, but the day after Jardia was hosting races that I was in there myself with. We had Mr. Samir Foch in the Ferrari doing 297 kilometers an hour down the back straight, what makes it the fastest car in ACC. But yes, it's the fastest in a straight line, but this thing does not slow up very well. It does not turn very well. So it's a seat of your pants ride through the corners, but as soon as you're going down the straight, you are going to be flying past cars left, right and centre. So imagine all this cars going to be on track. Hopefully we can get a full grid for it. We're currently just over half booked for it, so we can have up to 50 cars taking part in this race. And 50 cars where you got some of the fastest drivers in GT3s going to be there. You're going to have the fastest car in the Ferrari taking part. You're going to have some people in the slow cars. I know myself and Callum, as I said, are going to be in the slowest car, but also George Boothby, he's signed up in the BMW M2. So he's also joining us in the slowest car. Not obviously in our car itself, but in the same car, as I said. So that's going to be absolutely a crazy event next Saturday. So it does look like the guys who are not on a fast lap are going to call it quits. Callum McLeod is still on track. Mr. John Crane is taking it back to the pits lane. So currently the only people out on track are P4 and P5. It's just got 30 seconds remaining. So this will be their last laps as they are just close to each other here. Just we'll take a small quick onboard camera shot directly from the driver's view there. Unfortunately, it does look like Callum he's still down on his time. Let's see if he can catch you up just in a certain spot. Looks like he lost a little bit of time in braking. Let's see if he can get time back through exit of the corner. And it does look like he has lost a whole tenth, unfortunately, from where he was already. Gone a bit wide, and unfortunately that's dirtied his lap. So Mr. Heiko Sherman doesn't have to push it anymore. He is the only car on track. He can just bring it back to the pits, and that will bring us to the end of qualifying, guys. So whilst we grid up, I will bring us back over to track intro, and we'll catch everyone whilst they're on the grid. So guys, as you can see, we are here. It has got dark now. So let's just see how the guys are doing. As they're on the grid, we're starting very shortly. So as we come down onto the grid, you see Mr. Heiko Schwartzman in first place, followed by Mr. Amir Friday, Mr. John Crane, Mr. Ken Estep. As you can see, it is a very, very wet circuit now, and also late. I'm just going to have to change the camera quickly, so it's going to bug. I do apologise. We'll get the nice camera view for the, whilst they pull away from the grid line. So guys, like I said, we have a 45-minute race now, followed by a one lap race, a 10-minute pit stop with a mandatory tyre change. I'm just going to have to bring up my changes, so give me one moment, just so I can get all my programs to be working just as we needed to. So we need it to be showing you that there is a pit stop. There we have it added now. So we won't need the qualifying delta now. We will keep onto the race gap, so you better see how far each car is away from each other. So the cars are now rolling, so we will quickly click onto the Honeycam. Mr. Heiko Shortman. So it's going to be very wet for the guys. The rain, it does look like it's actually getting heavier in about half an hour's time, so just near the end of the race. So guys, like I said, we do have a pit window of 10 minutes. They do have to take a mandatory pit stop in this race. So as we can just get ready for the green light to go out. Guys are currently on their formation lap. I am going to have to change a few things on my side in a minute, so do bear with me. Guys, like I said, if you are here, let us know. I do have the chat open, so I can speak with you. Just coming around through Dunlop on the warm-up lap. They're going to try to get as much tyre temperature in these tyres as possible. Even though they've got wets on, it is going to be very hard to get these tyre temps up. Just hope the guys are running their brakes, pushing their brakes as much as possible. Using the brakes to generate the heat into the tyres, going through the rims. Hopefully with the guys circling around them will become a slightly drier line for them. Let's hope that happens. Will be a bit hard with only 5 cars on track, but let's see. We have seen some very crazy things happen in ACC. I do apologise guys, my breathing is getting a little bit better. It's been better today, but unfortunately now it's starting to play up just as I come to broadcast tonight. So let's come down into Yokohama. So these guys will be getting going very shortly. We're going to hop over to Mr. Ken, look from his view. As you can see, it is very wet out here. We're getting lined up now, double file, waiting to the start. You can see Mr. Callum McLeod with his LEDs on. The LEDs do look very nice on the side of his A pillars going up onto the roof. So turn 1 is going to be an interesting one. We will most likely switch over to Headicam for the first corner. Also we'll look on the view from Mr. John Crane, so hopefully we'll be mid-pack as the guys are starting to roll towards the start line now. And we are underway here at the Nurburgring for the Simpit ACC League Round 5. So if anyone mixes their breakers, they're going into the first corner. No, oh, Mr. John Crane has caused, oh, had a little bit of contact there. Nothing really that's unusual, nothing too severe. Nothing to give any warnings or any penalties out for. I'm just going to stick on the handicap just whilst I go through Mercedes Arena. The program has shown there's contact between the two guys. So it does look like everyone has settled down. So we'll switch over to the leader, Mr. Heiko Schotman for Whipperman Racing. In his Mercedes, as you can see, he has a nice LED strip across the top of his windshield as well. So we're now looking back. So Mr. Friday gets very loose then. Is that going to need Mr. John Crane to be able to catch up and get in between him? Does look like he's been able to keep it under control there. As Heiko does look like he is pulling away here. Mr. Friday just goes off track. Very unusual. So that's put Callum McLeod up to 4th place. So that was a very unusual mistake there from Mr. Friday. This is going to claw it back as Mr. Callum McLeod is right on the back here of Mr. John Crane. As our camera does look, unfortunately, you've had the wrong type of view. Can Callum McLeod chase him down and get him into the first braking zone? But saying that, Mr. Friday's down right behind him. As we look back to see Mr. Friday looking to the inside to try to get out the spray. As we look now for the front splitter of Mr. Callum's car, looking at Mr. John Crane. Oh, just getting on the throttle a little bit too early there. Is he able to keep it? Yes, he is. It does look like Mr. Ken Estep has unfortunately had a little bit of a he's a bit further back from everyone. But we've seen it last week. Ken did just kept flowing around as everyone made mistakes around him. He did actually gain quite a few places last week. So McLeod spits and flows behind him there. As he comes down into Dunlop for the second time. Does look like Mr. John Crane has pulled away just from Callum. It also looks like he's also pulled away from Mr. Amir Friday behind him. See, Mr. Callum McLeod is falling back from John Crane's car as well on board Mr. John Crane right now. It looks like John has fallen quite a bit away from Mr. Heiko Schotman. Heiko is absolutely flying. So he's nicely pulling away here. Mr. Ken Estep has put the fastest lap in. I believe that's purely for the fact of he's the only one who's not dirtied his lap. So Mr. Ken Estep is actually at the moment the fastest car on track, technically, as he's the only one who's not dirtied their lap. But you can see Mr. John Crane is now just over 7 seconds from saying that he's just a bit more time. There's about a 7-second gap now to him and Mr. Heiko. Callum McLeod is only 2 seconds back. So guys, like I said, I do have the chat open to make yourself known. I am keeping an eye on it for you. So if you have any questions or want to get involved, drop a message in the chat. We'll get to give you all the information that you need to come along and race alongside of us. Unfortunately, we do have a bit of a shorter grid again tonight. Some weeks we have some more, sometimes we do have less. It's unfortunate. We are trying to cater to people all over the world. This is the Heiko Schwartzman. He is from Central Europe. We have Mr. John Crane and Mr. Ken Estep from America. Callum McLeod is from Scotland. Myself from the UK. And Mr. Amir Friday, who's all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. So, like I said, all over the place. And there's a new fastest up there, posted up by Mr. Heiko Schwartzman, who's done a 2:08.9. So not far off his qualifying time there, actually. So we're going to look at the mid-pack here. It does look like there's a bit of a battle going on, progressively. I do apologise for my dog right there. So unfortunately, as you see, there is actually a slightly dry line coming. Because look at Mr. Amir Friday, didn't want to take that line, he wanted to go a little bit wide there. So the line is slowly coming to them, but not by much. So guys, if they do get overheating tyres, they will be coming offline to cool the tyres down. So it does look like now the guys are settling into their rhythm. Amir Friday's gone wide again into Dunlop. I think he's trying to push so hard to get back. Because the qualifying really good. They're up in P2, but unfortunately he's fallen all the way back down to P4. As you see guys, insights are brought to you by ACC TV. They are the guys who are bringing us the telemetry today, as well as all your nice overlays that you're seeing. They are definitely the best if you want any custom forecasting imagery. So we're just going to switch on over to Callum, he's on board. Looking back at Mr. Amir Friday. So he's just pulling away, getting a bit squirrely there. Nicely held. So next week's race, ladies and gentlemen, is at the pinnacle of endurance racing. We are headed to Spa. Spa-Francorchamps. It will be a dry race, but it will be an early morning race coming up into the daylight for guys. So they've raced into the night now twice. This is the first time they've raced in wet conditions all season long. So this is a whole new ball game to them. As we said before, a lot of these guys have come from iRacing and don't have much experience in the wet. The wet is not in iRacing as of yet. It is coming to iRacing, but not yet. Saying about that, guys, we were meant to have 2 teams taking part in the Sebring 12 Hours tomorrow. Unfortunately, Sean Cole himself, the big boss, has unfortunately injured his leg, so he's actually not going to be able to drive tomorrow. So unfortunately the car that him and Mr. Amir is not going to be able to drive tomorrow, so we only will have one car taking part in the SeaRank 12 hour. They will be streaming it, so keep an eye again on the Simpit's Discord channel. The links will be up in there, so keep an eye on there. Mr. Friday is a slow car on track apparently. I wonder if he's just had a small off. Let's go back some time, let's have a look. I wonder if he had a small off there at the Schumacher S's, as it did flag up that he's a slow moving vehicle. Oh, he did lose it. He kept control of it nicely though. As we see, Mr. Heiko's just gone fastest again. We're 2:08.3 now. As we switch back over to live. Starting with Friday is now falling back from Callum. Callum Cloud is still pulling away though from him just slightly. But unfortunately he is falling back now from Mr. John Crane, who we just switched over to. So he gets a little bit squirrely there. So guys, we're going to try and get everyone a little bit of action tonight. So we're going to have a look at Mr. Ken Esther. Let's see how he's coping through the Mercedes arena from our helicopter cam. Does look like he's going through there very nice and steady. A little bit wide down the exit unfortunately, so he's going to compromise his exit here. Looks like he's just trying to stay on a line that's not going to push him too far. So Mr. Kennesup is taking... Oh, unfortunately gone very deep here. So far deep that the camera didn't want to follow him. We'll have to let the guys know about that one. But I do believe that's an in-game camera issue there, not a ACC TV one, as that is actually one of the standard cameras. So yes, that is an ACC issue. But we'll have a switch back over now to the race leader, as he's coming through the Mercedes arena in a very nice looking BMW. The front end is starting to grow on me. I'm starting to have appreciation for it. Not much, but there is some appreciation for it now. I do apologise guys if I have been dropping a few frames now and then. I'm trying to resolve all these issues so we can have a nice smooth stream for you. So the pit window should be opening in the next 4 minutes. It will open up at 27 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And then that will close at 17 minutes and 30 seconds to go. So the guys can push these tyres to do the hour. But unfortunately our race is not an hour, it's 45 minutes and they have to change for their tyres. So let's hopefully the guys have set up their pit stop correctly, that they will be putting on wet tyres, because if they put dry tyres on, oh my god, it's going to cause absolute chaos for the guys. Look at the Heiko there coming through the chicane. So we look back, we've just seen Mr. John Crane here. So now he comes up towards the chicane. Let's see if we can see back and see Mr. Kevin McLeod. Sorry, not Ken. So Mr. Callum McLeod firing through the Vido chicane, coming down through Coca-Cola or Jaguar Curve, whichever you like to prefer, we're calling it. There's been so many names from these track corners names all over the years. It's hard to keep up what is the precise one, but now is today. I do have to laugh at my race control here. It's saying that the time of day is currently sunny at 22 air temp and 22 track temp. I don't believe that's 100% correct somehow. But what we can do is, if I come back onto the game screen here, it is wet and it is 22 air temp and 22 track, but it is wet as you can see. So my race app is telling me some lies as per usual. But we will now head over to see how Mr. Amir Friday is getting on. He does look like he's got through. Doesn't look this time. He has closed up to Mr. Callum McLeod. I wonder if in a couple of laps time he will be on the back. The pits will open now in 30 seconds. So let's see how this is going to change. Who's going to dive into the pits first? Who's going to get an early pit stop in? To change onto a brand new set of wet tyres. Maybe refuel if they've decided to split their fuel load. Just a couple of seconds now and the pits will be open. And the pits window is now open for the guys. As Amir Friday is in straight into the pits. He is the first car in. Oh, so he's runs wide. Oh no! Oh, Mr. Amir Friday, I wouldn't have reversed. I would have kept going. He's lost even more time here now. So he is the first car into the pits. So see Mr. Ken Estevez. Ken is coming up to the final chicane. Let's see if he comes in to get his pit stops. Unfortunately, that's going to push him way far behind Callum now, because it looks like Callum might have third place in the bag here. If not, even get Mr. John Crane in P2, because with being that far back and unfortunately having that incident, I don't believe Mr. Amir Friday will be able to catch that back up. As we switch back over to our leader. As you see there, we did see the change of position on the screen, showing that Mr. Can had passed Mr. Friday, even though we heard him in the pit lane. The game doesn't register any changements on the leaderboards until the guys pass the next sector line. So that's why sometimes the guys can say like they're in P3, but they're actually down, up or down, but it does not show Mr. Amir Friday's just come out the pits. Don't know why it showed him a yellow flag there on my screen. I will have to bring that with the devs. But we will switch back over to Mr. Heiko Schertzman, who is staying out another lap. So let's switch over to Mr. John Crane, see how he's going on. Does take it Vido chicane nicely there. He's also staying out for another lap. See if Mr. Callum McLeod takes a pit stop now, or is he going to stay out as well? So he's staying out as well. So at the moment, the only person to take their mandatory pit stop is Mr. Amir Friday. I don't know if his pit stop has registered though, because on the time screen that I have here, it shows that his mandatory stop is still active. So I'm going to have to look at the in-game one here, ladies and gentlemen. So I do apologise if it flashes up on your screen. Yes, Mr. Amir Friday's pit stop did not count. So I believe he has not changed tyres. Because that's the only mandatory thing he has to do in this pit stop is change tyres. This could mean, as I said, Mr. Ken Estep here could end up now with 4th place, as Mr. Amir Friday will have to take another pit stop. I will put it into the in-game chat, ladies and gentlemen, so give me 1 second. I do need to return the garage so I can do this. So I've just posted that message up into the in-game chat, so that will come through to the drivers. As Mr. Amir Friday is in the pit stop, so I do believe now he is coming in to take that secondary stop that he has to do, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's going to push him so far back now. As we'll click over to Mr. John Crane, who's also still out on track. Mr. John Crane, yeah, it's showing the slow car track. I think it's not liking the fact that it's wet and it's not understanding it. But it will show that it was a slow car there, where he was still running at a normal pace there. Unfortunately, we did drop another few frames there a couple of moments ago. That would have been whilst I was changing. Writing in the messages. So Mr. Ken Estep is now coming into pit lane. See how Mr. Friday is doing. He is now leaving the pit lane, and his pit lane now has cleared. So his first pit stop, there must have been some issue that he did not change his tyres. Let's hope that's the only time that happens for the rest of the guys in this race. You see Mr. Heiko Shortman coming down through the S's, coming down towards Dunlop. No, sorry, he's just come. Where's he to on track? I do apologise, guys. No, sorry, he was coming from Bilstein. It's because I don't have the track map open for myself. I know what I should do. It would make things a lot easier, but I was just looking at the vertical track map that we have on the broadcast system. Just the Heiko Schurtzman, he's coming in for his pit stop. So switch over to John Crane. John Crane is also coming in for his pit stop. Let's switch over to Callum Cloud. Callum's coming in, so this will be all cars now in pit lane, other than Mr. Amir Friday. So we'll click over to Mr. Ken Estep. As he's exited the pit, he has changed tyres. I'm just hoping they are wet tyres on that car. Does look like they are. And yes, he has set up his pit stop correctly. He does have wet tyres on. Let's hope the rest of the guys' pit stop also goes nice and clear. As it says, there is a changed position, but that is just purely down to the pit lane positioning here. As you see Mr. Callum McLeod also coming into his pit stop. It does look like he stopped just on his marks. As Heiko is now out on the move. A nice looking pit stop there. Callum McLeod is out the pit stops. Callum's pit stop has not registered either. Callum did not change tyres. Callum only refueled this car. So I will have to put that one into the in-game chat, ladies and gentlemen. So please bear with me 1 second. So unfortunately, I'm afraid it's now got to stop go 30. That's massive. So Ken Estep here could be on for a third place finish here. This could be absolutely massive for the championship. Not even just for the championship, just for this race. Mr. Callum McLeod is coming through. Ravenold coming down into Bilstein. Heiko Shortsman, he can pretty much just put the car into biggest fuel save map. Half throttle, just literally cruise home at this stage. I do apologise. Can take a short break, have a drink. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just looked at the pit lane opening time. Callum needed to pit that lap, as the pits window is shutting right now. So the pits are now closed. With the pits being closed, his pit stop is not going to count. So I will need to go back into the in-game again and let him know, because otherwise he will pit. So the guys in-game will see that message. I do apologise that it's skipping frames when I'm doing this. And we have just given the message to in-game. I will also promote it for you audio, so give me one.
I think I'm 69. What colour? How? Right, go. Right, go.
So guys, I am back. I just gave a verbal command to the drivers to let them know that Callum does have a on a missed pit stop, unfortunately. Due to missing the pit stop, he will have quite a severe penalty coming his way. Let's just see if Mr. Ken Estep can make one step up and get third place. Or can Mr. Callum McLeod keep his foot down? And just made Mr. Friday's gone off. That was coming through the V-Dog chicane. I thought, and he also shut his engine off. So we're going to go back 30 seconds here. We're going to have a look what happened here. So it looks like he just took a little bit too much speed. He hit the cutting curves, and unfortunately it just made him lose control. Trying to catch it, and it just unfortunately lost all control there. Engine did switch off. Luckily he was able to fire up straight away, get it back going, and carry on. Oh, I switched the cameras and it didn't like that we switched, so we'll click on Mr. John Crane. Let's go on board view, Mr. John Crane in the Aston Martin. So I do believe, just by looking at the times right now, Callum McLeod may only lose one position due to the time penalty if it's only a certain amount of time, but I'm not going to be sure here. We could be looking at Mr. Callum McLeod here drop from second. Well, unfortunately he's not by on race position. That was just due to the fact of him having a short pit stop. But can he retain at least third place, or is he going to drop down to fourth? So Mr. Amir Friday is just coming now along into the yeses. So it's not like Mr. Ken is coming out of Dunlop now. So Mr. Amir Friday with his pace might catch Ken, but I don't think he's got enough time. We've only 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go. So we'll switch over to the having a look back from the BMW here of our current race leader. The track does look like it's got a slightly dry line. Not a massive dry line, but it does look like this a little bit. As he does have that nice Fanatic wheel on the interior of the car. Unfortunately, that actually failed its motorsport licensing. They had to reinforce the wheel and also change some of the electronics on it. This was said to us on live stream from Mr. Daniel Morad, who drives for Mercedes. He was on the grid at the Daytona 24 hours, speaking to some of the BMW guys, and he said that the wheel did not pass tech. So they had to keep an eye on it. So Mr. Friday has gone off again. Oh, Mr. Friday, what has happened now? It looks like he's lost it into turn one here. I may have gone a bit too far back on time, but we'll have a look here. This has gone very deep into turn one. Oh, getting back on the throttle, he spun it. Oh, it's a massive shame. So it does look like Mr. Amir Friday is going to take 5th place here. Because I don't believe, unless Ken has a major incident and spins himself, I think Ken is going to be able to stay in control and maintain this 4th place. We'll click over, go up through the grid now, so we'll click on Mr. John Crane, see where he is on track. He is currently in the Mercedes arena. I can just hear that Mercedes McLaren just up in front of Mr. Callum McLeod. So we'll have a look back as we're getting the nice rain light just reflecting off the ground in front of us, giving that red haze as it's flashing. up onto the screens. We can just see the headlights there off Mr. John Crane, who is slowly catching Mr. Callum McLeod here. Slowly but surely he is edging out some time. As you see, kind of just gone through the Schumacher exit. See him on the exit now as we coming into it. But out in front, Mr. Heiko Sherman absolutely dominating this race, as he has done all season. As he's about to start lap 16 here. With 9 minutes remaining, as Mr. Friday's gone off again. Oh, Mr. Friday's having an absolute nightmare tonight. As Mr. Ken Estep is now right behind Mr. Friday. Ken, you're allowed to flash there. You are lapping a guy. Mr. Amir Friday now, with all his instances, like through the mess up in the 2 pit stops, the stop-go penalty, and then mistakes made, he's unfortunately now down a whole lap on the entire grid. So Mr. Ken Estep here is guaranteed a 4th place, I think. There's no way Mr. Friday here can gain a whole lap back. Not within 8 minutes. Not even the fastest sim racers in the game can do that. So guys, I am looking at doing some audio changes in the future, so I can be talking to the guys through pressing a button. But also so you are able to hear them, so I'm just able to hear communications between them. They can hear communications between me, so I can give heads up warnings like Mr. Adam Friday there. Unfortunately for spinning, as Mr. Ken Estep is going slow apparently. He's just been passed. Mr. Friday, but as we know, that's not full position. Callum McLeod's going slow. It doesn't look like it. I think the forecasting system is telling us a few porkies, as Mr. John Crane is now catching Callum McLeod for that P2 on track. But we already know for a fact Mr. John Crane is near enough guaranteed 2nd place here, due to the fact of Mr. Callum McLeod will have an after race penalty. Just looking through my system to see if I can get any information of penalties that will pop up. Not that is going to be automated as of yet. Obviously we could give him an in-game penalty, but then the game will automatically still give him the after race penalty, so there's no point us giving him a penalty. Mr. John Crane now is right behind Mr. Callum McLeod. As he falls from Callum, he's just coming out of the Mercedes arena. We'll click over to John Crane and see him right behind us. He's coming through the spray now of that McLaren. Getting a little bit slidey there, getting a little bit of downforce push wash there. He snatches an extra gear there just early enough, just to try to keep the car more balanced. So we'll minimise that wheel spin, but using the gear to help rotate the car. So this is going to be the battle that we want to look at right now. This car just brushes through the gravel there. That would have unfortunately lost him just a couple of tenths. So this is definitely our main battle on track right now. We're now under 5 minutes remaining of the race. It has gone night time now, fully here at the Nurburgring in Germany. Mr. Ken Estev's just getting so much washing behind that McLaren. I wonder if it's because he's not able to see his braking zones from being in the spray. Spray doesn't seem too bad at the moment though. Spray would have been a lot worse at the start of the race. Yes, from back to 2 seconds back. So look back from the roof of Callum McLeod this time, not from the regular splitter. Here, so much understeer coming from Callum's car. I wonder if he's putting too much steering into this car. So we've just got up to 3 minutes remaining now. Look at where the leader is on track. The leader's just come through Schumacher S's. The gap he has to P2 is absolutely huge. And just think where Mr. John Crane is, that is the actual physical gap that's been made over this entire race. Because don't forget, Mr. Callum McLeod did take his pit stop, but unfortunately it was only, looked like it only had to be for fuel, as his tyres did not change. That's why you still see that orange number 1 next to his race number of 1. So just got to 2 minutes from now. The game red just registered Ken is coming into the pit lane line, but Ken is still out on track. So it's that Amer Friday, and his Lexus come down into turn 1. This Heiko is just coming through the middle of the Mercedes arena. As I said, he can take it nice and steady here. He will have one more lap to go after this one. So we'll have a look at our main battle here between Callum and Mr. John Crane. Unfortunately, it's not a well, it is a battle for position, but with the pit stop penalty that is going to be applied after the race, Mr. John Crane does have P2 already locked in. That's Callum is putting a hell of a lot of steering into the car there. Definitely going to have a... Oh, it's Mr. John Crane pushing so hard. To say, oi Callum, you're not overtaking me through the pit stop by not doing your pit stop correctly. I'm overtaking you on track to show you how it's done. But unfortunately, it's not kind of working for him at the moment. So we'll switch over to the leader as he's about to start his final lap. So we'll go on board with him through for the final lap. There's 40 seconds remaining on the countdown clock. We'll start the 20th and final lap of the race. He also has the fastest lap of the race of an 8 minutes. Oh, sorry, an 8 minutes? A 2 minutes 8.82. I do apologise. I have been very busy today with a lot of new ACC DLC that's just come out. I've been working on trying to sort out a load of new paint jobs for the cars. as well as organising a few other events that I do take part in myself, as well as also help work behind the scenes on. As just yesterday I was with Lawrence Duswell and the Williams Esports guys, as his community, the Potato Nation, and myself were racing against the Williams Esports guys on their live stream. So that was a very good community race as well. So guys, there's loads of communities out there for ACC. If you're looking to race, do leagues every day of the week. There's multiple per day. Just I'm afraid he does have a white on his name, just see where he used to. So he's okay, so we can put back over to the leader. So he's coming through Ravenel, down to Bilstein. As he's coming up to just coming up to finish the lap. We'll have a look from the inboard and we'll switch out. As we'll get him crossing the start finish line here. I do apologise for the camera angles. That's what's the high case short, so it does take the win here at the Nürburgring. We'll fly down the rest of the circuit here. Doesn't look like we're having the fireworks today, unfortunately, so the track has gone into darkness. Seriously, seems to Friday unfortunately come home in P5. We're going to whiz our camera back along the start straight. So Mr. Ken Estep comes home in 4th place, but obviously we've still got the outstanding penalties. Kevin McLeod did stay out in front, as we now have finished the session. The penalty has applied. Callum did have a 130-second penalty. That does move him down into P3 behind Mr. John Crane. But ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Mike Vowles. We'll be switching over to the track intro here. And guys, tonight has been again another entertaining race for the guys. So, until next week, if you're ever looking to join our races, please join the Simpit on Discord, join us on simracing.gp, and as always, take care, have fun sim racing, and we'll see you on the track. Take care.